Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca. If you're seeing it somewhere else, it's not correct. The stuff like the decks and the dice, I'm going to put that below. Of course, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? I'm being very careful with the situation. Okay. Is that the 6? That is the 6 of Cups. This has happened before. All right, one more. How far do we gotta go? All right, there's a lot. This is like, that is all the ending. This is all the ending. We only got like 7 cards out there, like for the love of Pete. This has happened before. Whatever this is, it's happened before. There's a very strong energy around you that brings in possibilities and changes things in 2 seconds. This has happened before. Okay. It's a very active energy. It's doing it again. But it's something about looking at the history of this so you can kind of get a better idea about what's about to happen. Because there is a random element to this energy, and whoever this is, there is a random piece to it. But it's more about seeing the pattern that lies within the chaos. Seeing the pattern that lies within the chaos, okay. Because I feel like if I look a little closely and I kind of pay attention to how this went before, and maybe more than once before, I can be like, okay, I see, like, I got a rough draft about how this is gonna go. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, we're gonna get some water, it's gonna get cold outside, it's gonna freeze, it's gonna thaw, and then blah 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 blah. It's kind of like, I don't know exactly where the water or how much water, but I know it's gonna come. I don't know how long it's gonna be frozen for, but I know it's gonna be frozen. I don't know when it's going to thaw, but it will thaw. It's kind of like those. It's like I got that rough draft of it. It's kind of like knowing the winter is coming type thing, if you follow me on that. Because when this energy comes in, makes a big change, big ideas, things happen really quickly, and you make things work to your advantage in this moment. You handle it in the moment the way you need to. And I don't feel like this moment, I don't like I don't like the energy for you. I don't feel like this is your thing, but it's kind of like when it shows up, I got to do what I got to do, so I do. I got to do what I got to do, so I do. It's just like, it's kind of like somebody, it's kind of like a relative driving by and handing you one of their children, and then they just drive away, and it's kind of like, well, okay, you're lucky your family, I guess I'm gonna take care of this kid, but okay, I don't like how it's happening. But like, if I'm seeing like a grandmother energy, and somebody, one of her kids or one of her grandkids just randomly showing up and saying, we gotta go, please take care of my kid, and then just leaving and going, you're lucky I love this kid, you're lucky I love you, I will just do this, but this isn't right. And this is kind of how I'm feeling about it. It's kind of like, yeah, I'll do it because it means something to me, but I don't like how it's coming in. But the thing is, there's great value with it. It's kind of like, all right, I'm very well valued, and I'm able to keep this situation working correctly, but this wasn't right how this came in, and this has happened before. This wasn't right how we played this out. This wasn't right, but I'm going to do what I need to do because of the value that's here, and I'll do what I need to do. I care about the child you handed to me, and I do care about you, even though you're going to get it later. But I will because of the value I have for this child. I love this child, so I will. But the way this played out was not right. Okay. You do what you need to do in the moment. You handle it in the moment. You handle it. Somebody else has ideas for you. It could be a little bit cynical. This energy's trying to help you with something. This card comes in a few different ways, I'm noticing. Somebody's trying to help you with something. They might be a little bit cynical, facetious. The way they're delivering the energy, the way they're saying what they're saying, I'm not sure I really like the way they're saying it. The challenge with this part is to kind of like back yourself away from this energy after they've said what they're going to say, and then you writing it down or putting it down on paper, however you need to do that, whatever that means for you, and kind of like sifting through the information and stepping away from the way it was said. Ugh, I'm guilty of this. I'm totally guilty of this. Especially if I get upset, I tell people how I feel, but the way I say it is probably not the best way to say it. So it's kind of like the truth has been told. It may not have been told in the best way. If you follow me, I feel like I'm guilty of that myself. I do. I'm older now, so I do better with that. But I'm just saying, especially when I was younger, I would just blurt things out, and then later I'd be like, okay, I meant that, but that did not. I didn't need to say it that way. I could apologize for how I said it, but probably not what I said because I didn't mean it. So there's this energy there. The challenge again, to step back and just kind of sift through it, kind of like, I'm going to take the person and the way they said it out of the equation, and I'm going to look at the raw material. What can I do with that raw material? What can I do with the information that was shared with me? Because I don't like it and I feel very dejected by it. It's the Five of Pentacles. I just don't feel like I like the situation at this point. It's like, what happened? Don't like that. Information coming to me, I'm like, all right, there's some truth there, but I don't think it was said correctly. It reminds me of taking phone calls for a financial institution I used to work for, and before I even say my name, I'm getting a lot of vulgar things thrown at me, and the way I learned to navigate that was to step away from the vulgarity and just take the actual what the situation was. Kind of like, I don't want to spend any more time on the phone with this person than I have to, so I'm like, I'm ignoring the vulgarities, and I'm just getting like, let's find out what the problem is, let's just solve the problem, and then send them on their way, and then they can be their own problem for somebody else. I don't think of myself as fixing anybody's attitude in 5 seconds anyway, but it kind of reminds me of that, like stepping around the vulgarity and kind of like, all right, what's the meat and potatoes here, what's the actual issue, and what can I do to help it, what can we do there? There's nothing here that is going to serve you to react quickly on. That's not usually a Taurus thing, to react fast, but if somebody made you angry, depending on what's going on here, you might be in the energy to like react quickly. That doesn't seem like that's normal for Taurus, but yeah, you might be. If somebody made you angry, something might happen, or you might shut a door. You might set a very harsh boundary. You don't have to do that. There may be the need to set a very harsh boundary very quickly. You don't have to do that. You have to do what you think is right, obviously, so I'm just saying you don't have to set a harsh boundary very quickly, because there's something here where somebody, they say something, it just feels rude, and it might inspire you to set a very harsh boundary. There's another version. All right, I'm going to need the dice on that one too, because it's the Hermit, it's the Ace of Cups, and it's the Violet Angel. which is saying Breaking Dawn is a very pretty card. 10 of Pentacles, but it's coming in like this, and the Lover's card upside down. Okay. The Hermit is the first card that came in. That's introspection. That's not really outward communication. Sometimes fire can communicate very quickly. Fire is definitely action, yes, but the King of Fire especially, I get communication, but like an action with that communication, like this is what's happening. You don't have to go that route. Instead of doing that, pulling it back, which Taurus is usually good at holding it together, in my opinion. And kind of like going, wait a minute, let me sift through this situation. There are pieces of this that you like. Let's put those in line first. And then there are things here that I don't like. Let's also get those in line. I feel like there's then questions I can create. The questions you can create would be, all right, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. From what I'm seeing, I believe this is how this happened. Instead of just going like, this is what I see, so this is how it happened. Posing questions to the person in question here. How did this part happen? Especially if you're like, I think I already know the answer. Posing the question. Posing the questions and having them answer. And having them tell you what happened. Instead of you filling in the blanks and saying, I know what happened, this is what happened. Going into it like creating questions like, all right, what I think happened is they got a quick invite. They wanted to go to something. They couldn't do it if they had their kid with them, so they dropped the kid off to me, and then they went and they had their fun. That's what I think happened. Instead, going kind of like, okay, I'm going to find this person, and I'm taking a minute to formulate my questions with the Hermit card here, and asking like, how did this situation start? And just asking how it started. And then asking, and just keep asking questions. Okay, so you got this invite. How did that create this next moment? How did you make the decision that you needed to do this? Does this make sense? Am I making sense with this? Because I feel like instead of saying, this is what happened, that's what happened, and I know you did this, and I know you did that, keep asking the questions, but trying to keep those questions as open as possible to where they have to tell you what happened. I don't know why that works, but it seems to make a lot of things different. It seems to change things because, okay, I get it. What I want to do is I want them to tell me. I don't want to make it easy where I just know what's going on and I'm just saying, I know you did this, I know you did that, I know you did this. I want them to tell me, and I want them to think I'm giving them best chance to tell me something good. I want to make this process uncomfortable for them to where, like, okay, they got their quick reward, but now they got to pay the price, to where I want them to tell me, like, how did this opportunity come? What was this opportunity? How did you get it? How did you feel like that was very important for you to have? Like, what made that so important for you to have that day? You know what I mean? What made you choose me? Like, was I the only option? What made you choose me for this situation? How long, when you got there, how long did it last? What did you have? What happened in that situation? You know, I feel like I want to keep them talking because it makes it really uncomfortable for them. And I feel like if I start this process to where I keep making them, and I just give them best foot forward, like I'm not accusing, I'm just kind of giving them a chance to explain, and I'm just keeping that even keel Taurus energy, and I keep just getting them talking and keep them explaining. I feel like it makes it really uncomfortable for them. And this could start really reshaping this whole situation. That could be the payment for what they did. And it's a payment in the sense of like, it's uncomfortable for them. And it's kind of like they're feeling like, oh, now I owe a debt. I have to explain to Taurus what I did and why I did it. And kind of like, this is going to be the rub. If they're going to kind of pull on your resources every now and then, and you're going to allow that, this is the rub. This is the other side of that equation. This is the payment for that. And it makes it uncomfortable. And it could change the whole landscape here. So it's like you have the option to just set a harsh boundary, that's that. Or maybe we go through the whole situation and we make them explain it, and we go through the whole thing and we keep giving them like the opportunity, like, I want to believe the best, tell me something good, and I just keep going. And then when they say something that sounds like it's maybe not the truth, I keep coming back to it. And maybe I don't accuse them of lying, but I keep having them re-explain it, and then I'm like, oh, this? But I thought you said that. How do these two things work at the same time? And then we come back to it a third time. Oh, wait, you said this the first time, that the second time. Now you're telling me this. How do all three of these things exist in the same thing? How does that all work? It's like interrogation is what I'm getting. I feel like I'm very pleasantly, very good cop version of the interrogation process. And I feel like it makes them sweat a bit. What is this? Because they have to think about this first. Okay. I don't know what's going on at the end of here, but we got to get there first. All the Earth ones have been long, I've noticed this time. When I get this, I feel like whatever this is, this is a pattern. And this is about reshaping the pattern. It's going to take some time. I don't feel like you're shocked about that. It's not like we're just going to fix it. It's not like we're going to fix it and you're just going to be happy with the outcome. How's that? If you want a really good outcome that really serves you long run, it's going to take some work. So if this reading is hitting, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. To get it to really reshape, reform, and stay where it's supposed to stay, it's going to take some work to get it to go where it should go. Because it's going to repeat. And I feel like when this happens again, I feel like the next time it happens, and it seems like it's happened before, it'll happen again. When I'm doing whatever I need to do for this person, I'm already starting to form my questions. I'm already getting ready to have this conversation. And I'm like, I'm going to pin them down. I'm going to corner them, and we're going to have another one of these conversations. And I'm remembering from the last conversation, like, what seemed to make more of a difference, what didn't. Do I see any changes here? Do I see anything is going differently? Like, I feel like I'm starting to evolve my questioning to get different changes, to get more of the situation going the way I want it to go. There's an evolution with this, and I'm trying to understand it a little bit better, because you got the Chariot, because there's something about this where they know you're loyal to the situation, and there's something with this where it just seems like new things keep popping up, and I feel like, I'm wondering why that happened. So I'll wait, and I feel like Taurus is really good at this, I think. You let me know if I'm wrong. You can kind of get your questions in there when you need to. Am I getting this wrong or am I getting this right? Like, I can start a peaceful conversation and I just kind of edge in the question that I want. When I see the moment, I just edge it in when I want it there. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? Yeah, because I might bring up the past. I almost feel like maybe that's the way I'm bringing it up. Kind of like, oh, I think we talked about this before, and we already decided that this version of this didn't work for you. What made you decide to do it the same way again, even though we decided, or I thought you decided that that didn't work for you? Why did you abandon that decision and do it again anyway? I just feel like I'm calmly just putting it out there. Like, what made you, what got you to, I mean, something happened and you decided to abandon that thought. I'm just curious what it was. I don't know. I don't feel like it's rude. I just feel like I'm just quietly, peacefully putting it in there. And I just feel like it seems to be very interesting because this feels better to me now, because I was like looking at all this at once, because I feel like I'm kind of putting them in a corner here, where I'm painting them into a corner that they already, maybe I'm pointing out that they painted themselves into a corner. Maybe that's what we're doing. They're not expecting that. That's the Tower card. The Wheel of Fortune is like, uh-oh, now what am I going to say? And then they try to come forward real quick with an answer, but I feel like there's a lot coming in here where I feel like we're addressing something that maybe we didn't want to address. If they're going to be pulling on your resources, I think they're starting to realize if you're going to pull on Taurus's resources, you're going to owe Taurus something. And this is going to become more uncomfortable for them. And they're going to be more inspired to kind of edit how they're handling things. They're going to kind of go into your land of like making longer term decisions, making better decisions, stabilizing what they're doing a little bit more. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not. It's going to take some time. It's going to be a process. But at the very least, at least it's going to start showing improvement. And at least that's something. This card was here. I don't know why it makes me laugh, but I'm like, it says miracle, kind of like maybe that's how you're looking at it. Like, oh, that would be a miracle if it started having any improvement. You could have that miracle. That might literally feel like a miracle in this situation if this reading is hitting. Whew. I like that ending now. At first when I saw it, I'm like, that looks kind of rough. It doesn't feel rough now. It feels better now that we got there. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.